What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to go over 5 games that I think are most likely going to be at the Game Awards. So, I pitched the idea to you guys. I didn't see an overwhelming, attack against the ideas. So I want to do this. Yesterday, we talked about 5 games that I hope are there. They were realistic, I would say, but they weren't the most slam dunk guarantees. Now, I should say this early on in this video. I am not guaranteeing any of these games are going to actually be there, but I just feel we've heard enough about them, or they seem very, very plausible. There's something with these 5 games that I think make them a little bit more likely to be at the Game Awards than other games, okay? If you guys do like this stuff, as always, make sure you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on, and also, if you haven't joined our Discord server, please do. Tomorrow is obviously the Game Awards. We'll be doing a live reaction in Discord. I'll also be on Twitter as well, but we're going to have a lot of fun there. A lot of people already on that server in the Discord talking about it. So again, if you guys haven't joined yet, link for it is in the description below. We're honestly going to have a blast. All right, let's talk about this. So number 1 is the Crash game. So I mentioned this yesterday. I think this was one of the games that I wanted to be real. And you could say that, this rumor is pretty new. I mean, the idea of Crash Legends, again, the Crash Bash-esque kind of game, it is new. It's something that kind of popped up just over the last, I think, this past weekend, right? It popped up. So it's not like we've heard about it for months, and you could say, all right, well, that's something that's maybe alarming. But again, you have that, and that is just a rumor. And like we talked about, a lot of the other games in that rumor collection aren't exactly the most solid, where I don't necessarily believe them. So that, I think, makes it look bad. But it makes sense. I mean, they've done 3 Crash games in 2017, 2019, and 2020, okay? So they're not doing yearly, but they're doing pretty close as you can to yearly, I would say. And I think next up is either a remake or a brand new game. You have that menu screen we keep talking about, right, in the beginning of Crash 4, that just happened a few, actually, I think, early last week, right? So there are some things lining up. Activision announced Nitro Refueled at the Game Awards, and I think that's kind of a pattern people are going into, where it's like, well, let's look at games that have been there before and maybe they'll be there again. And again, there's evidence to suggest other games that have had a similar trajectory basically are going to do that. So I think this game is possible. I really want this game, but I do think, honestly, it's a likely thing that we see it. I want to also stick with that leak just for a second, too. Remember, the biggest thing of that leak was new Crash, new Kingdom Hearts. So my number 2 game is a new Kingdom Hearts game. I think this is possible, but the thing is, and like we've talked about in the past, I think I talked about this on my second channel, this is not going to be like a Kingdom Hearts 4. Now, the guy who leaked it, and I've said this before, I hate it when leakers do this, where they pretend like they don't know much, or it's very vague, but then they also say things like, well, when you see it, you'll know exactly what I mean, or this guy said it's exactly what you think it is, but he didn't say what it is. So he said it's a new Kingdom Hearts game, but he didn't go into any more detail, but then he said it's exactly what you think it is. Now, what I think it is a collection, because we're going into 2021, we're going into next gen, put them all together again for the 100th time, put them all together. But, I think other people could definitely read that and say it's exactly what you think it is, Kingdom Hearts 4. You know what I mean? So I hate it when people do that. And again, that's kind of what makes me not believe those rumors, is because if you actually know, then give us a little bit more details. Don't kind of lead us on and say, well, you'll figure it out. You guys are smart enough. Well, yeah, we are pretty smart, but you're the one who says you know something. You know what I mean? So I do think a Kingdom Hearts game is definitely possible. I mean, they've done yearly the last 2 years, right? Actually, they've done 3 games in less than 2 years. So I don't doubt at all that 2021 we're going to get a new Kingdom Hearts game, and I would not be surprised if it's shown at the Game Awards. Number 3 is The Wolf Among Us 2, or Season 2, I guess, right? So this has evidence, I think, all over the place. We just got the rumor, which was separate. This came from Reset Era, which, a lot of people go to that as a more solid, idea for theories or for these kind of leaks. I don't think that's true at all. I think Reset Era has gotten loads of things wrong in the past, so I don't really see it as I think it's probably superior to a thing like Reddit or even 4chan, but I don't think it's this all-seeing God, right? That's oh my God, they're always right. But for their credit, this was separate of the leaks of Crash and Kingdom Hearts and all that stuff. But it does make sense. I've talked about it. I actually made the video. Maybe they watched my video, because I made a video on it around 2 weeks ago, right? Talking about The Wolf Among Us Season 2. It was shown last year. They did all of the, well, not all of the work, but they did a lot of work in 2020. It makes complete sense to me that they would show it again, say, hey, we were here last year just as an update that we were making the game. Now let's show you just a little bit, and let's give maybe a loose window of when the game is going to release, right? That's what I think they're going to do. That's kind of what and that's, by the way, again, I've said that for weeks. That's what the rumor that was just a few days old, that's what that said. So putting the two together, I think I'm a pretty smart guy. I think if I'm right on this, I'm going to give myself a pat on the back because I did call this. So I'm hoping it's there. I think it's very likely. Number 4, this is where I guess these two are pretty controversial. Again, these are things that I think are the most likely, by the way. Number 4 is Elden Ring. So if you're an Elden Ring fan, you probably hate me right now. It's like, well, either you jinxed us or you're way too confident and you should know that, never to be. But no, I mean, honestly, with Elden Ring, we've heard, I think, enough in terms of the leaks and rumors that this game is getting there. And I think this game is a lot further along than a lot of people think. Remember, the last rumor for Elden Ring was that this game was almost done. Okay, that this game was, in kind of like the last stages. So this is a huge game, and we've heard again from a rumor, I think it was from Reddit, so I don't know how much you want to believe it, but there's going to be like 12 to 15 game announcements. Now the thing you have to remember, and I even tweeted this because I'm like, okay, hold your horses, everybody. Just because they say 12 to 15, Geoff Keighley, I think, said there's going to be like 3 or 4 just in the opening show or like the pre-show. They're not going to be the biggest things on planet Earth, half of these games, at least half. I think a good amount of them are going to be middle tier to lower, and I'm not mean like quality, just like smaller size games, okay? I would say still probably 3 to 6 big game announcements, which, as I did say on Twitter, who's the one that was telling people that, like, 3, 4, 5 months ago? It was me. So I think Elden Ring could easily be one of those games. I think, again, I think honestly, it's probably coming out early next year. And I think we'll probably get, if they do show it to us, if they show us like a new trailer or whatever, I do think they'll show us a release date. I really do. So I think this game is, in my opinion, I would say it's pretty likely just based off of the sheer amount of stuff we've heard about it over the last little while. Number 5, Silent Hill. The Silent Hill game from PlayStation, the exclusive PS5 game. I mean, this game was supposed to be announced in June. This game was supposed to be announced in September, and I do believe it. I mean, I really do. I think there's a growing, popularity to saying like it doesn't exist, and I get it. I think there's more basis on saying that Uncharted game that I keep talking about, right? I think there's more basis to saying that game isn't actually real, and we're all just kind of believing in very small tidbits that we're kind of making too big. But Silent Hill, we've heard so much from it, from actually quite a few different people. Like, it's not just one person that's talked about Silent Hill. I do think the game is real, and if the game is real, I would like to believe the other stuff we've heard about it, which is next year, fall 2021 release, and also, again, we were supposed to see it the past 2 big PlayStation events, and we didn't. Now, you could say, well, what's one more? I mean, just skip this one, have a state of play, a little bit later, have it in January, February, and then show it there. They could. So, again, look, none of these games are guarantees. I didn't say that in the title. I don't want to promise any of these, but we can talk about Injustice. We can talk about Uncharted. We can talk about whatever game you want to. And like I said, I've covered, I think, 20 individual games, maybe a few more. Those are a lot of games. I don't think they're all going to be there. I think a lot of them are possibilities. But these 5, I just feel like there's more to them. And one final thing. Even last year, I think I did something similar to this last year. And what I think you sometimes find is even if they're not at the Game Awards, they do end up being revealed. Remember, there was I think it was called Crash Worlds, right, which was Crash 4, and we eventually heard about that. So now, I don't know if you want to consider Crash Worlds was supposed to be a separate game or whatever, but sometimes these things that are leading up to the Game Awards, even look at Gotham Knights or Batman, things that have a lot of rumors leading into the Game Awards, even if they're not there, sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes they kind of manifest themselves later, okay? So hopefully these 5 things do exist. I think, well, actually, we know some of them exist, and the other ones I think are very, very possible to also exist. I think it's only a matter of time. So let me know in the comments below, guys, what do you think? Do you agree with my 5? What are your 5? Make sure, as always, you guys are subscribed to this channel. Hit the bell icon. Again, join our Discord server if you haven't already. Tomorrow is go time. I'm very, very excited. Again, I'll be on Discord live. I know I don't go on Discord all the time, but I definitely go there for these kind of events. So I hope to see you guys there. I hope to see you guys on the future videos.